welcome to another episode of Untold Legends, where we explore the stories found within the world of video games, movies, comic books, and anything in between. Last time in the Mortal Kombat Timeline series, we explored the history of the first combatant created for the franchise, Johnny Cage. Today, the evil emperor of Outworld, Shao Kahn, steps into the ring.
You burn with guilt, don't you?
For the pain I have caused others, yes.
Compassion is for fools.
A tyrannical megalomaniac that wants nothing but power, willing to destroy all of reality just to ensure that no one else can rule. Since the 90s, Shao Kahn has built up a reputation as being one of the most notorious final bosses in video game history, armed with powerful blows and cheap moves, and known to be extremely unfair. Not only does Shao Kahn give players a proper beatdown relentlessly, with little opportunity to breathe, he also disrespectfully taunts them while doing so.
Prepare to die. That was pathetic. You are nothing. Feel the wrath of Shao Kahn. You suck. You're still trying to win? I rule this world.
After fighting a final boss with the appearance of a decrepit old man in the original Mortal Kombat 2 needed to add an even more imposing threat, and Shang Tsung took the backseat as a sub-boss to Shao Kahn. Bodybuilder Bryan was hired to portray Shao Kahn in the final product, and he was digitally resized to appear much taller than the other characters, becoming an imposing threat towering over the player. He also had the appearance of a large man wearing a war helmet, but during development, he was envisioned as an unmasked Tarkatan warrior, with monstrous sharp teeth just like Baraka. The original idea was that everyone native to Outworld was part of Baraka's race, but that was eventually scrapped and Shao Kahn's race was never fully revealed. His face has a semi-human appearance with non-human features, and it's been implied over time that he could have some sort of demonic or godly ancestry and maybe naturally immortal. He was from one of the many races native to the realm of Outworld, and his beginnings go all the way back to a time in its distant past, a time when Outworld was ruled by another, the first emperor, Onaga the Dragon King. During Onaga's rule, Outworld was an independent, self-contained realm and had peaceful alliances with other realms, such as the Realm of Order. Although Onaga's rule kept Outworld stable, its citizens were still oppressed, and its history of power-hungry rulers would continue past him. At the time, Shao Kahn served at Onaga's side, given the title of Protector of Outworld, and he also served as his royal advisor. But Kahn craved power, and took advantage of the trust that he developed with the Emperor. One day he poisoned him, and Onaga the Dragon King was dead. Shao Kahn took his throne and crowned himself the new Emperor of Outworld. Under Shao Kahn's iron fist, the people of Outworld were forced to accept his rule, and any rebellions were crushed immediately. He also had experience with the dark arts and absorbed much of the land's energy into himself, turning Outworld into a war-torn, barren wasteland. He became drunk with power and obsessed over ruling all of reality and absorbing the energy of each realm. Emperor Shao Kahn came to be known as a ruthless, unstoppable conqueror, sending his armies into other realms and taking them over. His empire became so massive and powerful that the elder gods that watched over reality were forced to step in and issue a safeguard, a chance for other realms to defend themselves against the Outworld threat, before one being gained too much power. They created the Mortal Kombat tournament and forced Shao Kahn to abide by their rules, or face their divine punishment. With Mortal Kombat, a fighting tournament was held once every generation, and the participating realms would send their greatest warriors to fight. If a realm won 10 consecutive victories in Mortal Kombat, they would have the right to merge the losing realm with their own. With the tournament in place, Shao Kahn sent his Outworld warriors into battle and successfully merged multiple realms into Outworld, becoming more powerful with each one. This helped form an Outworld filled with multiple races from various realms, all subjugated under Kahn's rule. But even after merging with Outworld, citizens from other realms would wage war against their new emperor, none successfully. One of his greatest victories was taking over the peaceful realm of Edenia, where many of the characters in the series originated. Edenia was once a peaceful, beautiful realm, ruled by King Jared and his queen Sindel. Shao Kahn had his eyes set on conquering the realm and challenged them to mortal combat. Edenia sent its warriors to defend it, but Outworld won 10 straight victories. But King Jared refused to give up so easily. He fought back against Kahn's forces, and Shao Kahn himself murdered the king. He forced his queen Sindel to watch, and Edenia was now part of Outworld. Shao Kahn took Sindel as his wife in a forced marriage, and her daughter Kitana as his own adopted daughter. 2 trophies that would forever remind him of his victory. Watching the death of her husband and the destruction of her kingdom was too much for Sindel, and she eventually took her own life. Many years later, Earthrealm became the next target, and the Mortal Kombat tournament was invoked. As always, Outworld was repeatedly victorious, and their champion was the sorcerer Shang Tsung. But during the 10th tournament, an Earthrealm warrior known as the Great Kung Lao defeated Shang Tsung and successfully defended his home against Outworld. Kahn would have to win another 10 tournaments before getting another chance at merging Earthrealm. But Kung Lao's victory only lasted for one generation. In the next tournament, Shang Tsung unleashed his newest warrior, the Shao Kahn Prince Goro, and the Great Kung Lao lost his life. Outworld won and continued another winning streak for 9 tournaments. Only one more victory was needed, but one of Kung Lao's descendants, the young Earthrealm Shaolin monk Liu Kang, stood against Goro and Shang Tsung and defeated them fairly in the original Mortal Kombat.
Sony sub score Luke Raider Kano Johnny. Sony sub score Luke Raider.
Outworld's 10th victory and dominion over Earthrealm once again slipped through Shao Kahn's fingers, and he was enraged with Shang Tsung's failure. Shang Tsung begged for his life and proposed a way for Kahn to take over Earthrealm. He would host a second false tournament, unsanctioned by the Elder Gods. He would host it in Outworld, where he believed they would have an advantage and use it to rid themselves of Earthrealm's greatest warriors. Shao Kahn agreed to the plan and used his dark magic to restore the sorcerer's youth, then ordered him to lure Earthrealm's warriors into Outworld. Shang Tsung and Outworld forces launched an attack, ambushing one of Johnny Cage's movie sets and faced off against Jax. Tarkatan forces led by Baraka ambushed the Shaolin Temple where Liu Kang resided, and Earthrealm warriors Sonya Blade and Kano were kidnapped as hostages. All of these actions forced them to accept Shang Tsung's terms, and they entered the Outworld during the events of Mortal Kombat 2. Liu Kang made his way through the tournament and for the second time faced off against Shang Tsung, defeating him in front of the Emperor. After Tsung's defeat, another Shao Kahn warrior, vowing to avenge the defeat of Goro, also challenged Liu Kang, but the young warrior's skills were too much, and he was also beaten.
Liu Kang wins. Prepare to die. Prepare to die. You will die, mortal. I will. No.
Although it seemed that Kahn was dead, he reappeared after his defeat, refusing to accept that he had lost against Liu Kang. He learned that the Mortal Kombat tournament was an artificial defense for Earthrealm. Queen Sindel had also learned this, and had placed barriers around Earthrealm before she died. He ordered Shang Tsung to resurrect her and put her under his control. With Sindel at his side and her barriers undone, Kahn finally had the opportunity to send his armies to invade. Shao Kahn had the power of multiple realms inside of him, from conquest after conquest, and he absorbed the souls of nearly every living being, claiming them as his own. It seemed like all hope was lost, as his extermination squads hunted down remaining survivors, but Raiden had protected the souls of his chosen combatants and organized them to fight back. Shao Kahn was challenged by Liu Kang's best friend Kung Lao, also a descendant of the original Kung Lao, but the warrior fell in battle, and Liu Kang fought to avenge him and put a final end to the Emperor's plans. Earthrealm had been saved from the Outworld invasion. Shao Kahn barely escaped with his life and went into hiding, and he was severely weakened from his battle with Liu Kang. Even at the peak of his power, the young warrior was still too much for him to handle. Shao Kahn could barely hold on to his rule. In his weak state, much of Outworld fell out of his control, and many of his conquests were undone. The souls of Earthrealm citizens were restored, many of his loyal followers abandoned him, Kitana had undone the spell put on her mother, and Queen Sindel ruled over a free and once again independent Edenia. During his rule, Kahn had relied heavily on the Shao Kahn forces to subjugate other realms, and Princess Kitana had made peace treaties with them. With Edenia and Shao Kahn armies together, they could form an enormous threat to Outworld and any possibility of Shao Kahn re-establishing his dominance. He knew it was only a matter of time before someone made an attempt on his life, so he used an ancient artifact and his own dark magic to create a clone of himself as a body double. During this time, the sorcerers Quan Chi and Shang Tsung formed a deadly alliance, and attacked the clone, believing that he was the real emperor, and killed him. an attack that Kahn had fully expected. From the shadows, Shao Kahn had issued orders to his new commander Kano and his personal assassin Noob Saibot, and defended Outworld from the combined forces of Edenia and the Shokan. During the events of Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition, Noob Saibot encountered Goro, tired from battle, and struck a devastating blow, leaving him to die in a plot that Shao Kahn had orchestrated. Specific to the GameCube version of Mortal Kombat Deception, the real Shao Kahn now recovered, and appeared to Goro after being wounded by Noob Saibot. Shao Kahn healed him in an attempt to regain the loyalty of his armies. The thankful Goro agreed to fight for Shao Kahn again, and the Shokan armies were ordered to fight for Outworld. At this time, Onaga the Dragon King had returned with his immortal army, the original emperor that Kahn killed to gain the throne, but he was defeated by Shijinko in combat, and his claim over the Outworld throne was stopped. But during the chaos of the Dragon King's return, and the belief that Shao Kahn was dead, Mileena posed as Kitana and took control of Edenia's forces. She used the opportunity to seize Shao Kahn's fortress and claim Outworld as hers to rule, but Shao Kahn with his new allies stormed the throne room and forced her to submit. With Onaga out of the way and Mileena removed, Shao Kahn reasserted himself as emperor. During the events of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the very fabric of reality was at stake, and the elemental blaze threatened to destroy everything. All the remaining combatants on both sides of light and darkness gathered in a massive battle to challenge Blaze and claim his power. As fate would have it, most of the combatants died in the battle, and Shao Kahn made it near the top of the pyramid where Blaze was located. But Onaga had revealed himself and took Shao Kahn. Onaga believed himself to be the true emperor of Outworld, and this fake emperor had to be destroyed. Shao Kahn defeated Onaga and made his way back to the pyramid. By the time he arrived, few combatants remained, and he confronted Blaze, claiming his reality-destroying powers as his own.
Where are the Elder Gods, Raiden? Their pathetic mortal combat shackles me no longer. They masquerade as dragons, but are mere toothless worms. My venom spreads. It is the end of all things. Armageddon. Stop! Your time has passed. Ages wasted in foolish resistance.
The dog Ridlock me Donovan. Jerem Maltel.
Yes. Pray to the worms. As your
He must win.
In his desperate attempt to keep Shao Kahn from causing Armageddon, Raiden sent himself a message to the past. He must win. The message to his past self created the alternate current timeline in Mortal Kombat history. The events of the first Mortal Kombat tournament still ended the same way, with Shang Tsung being defeated by Liu Kang, and he still proposed a second tournament.
You failed me. 500 years I have waited. Now I must wait 500 more.
My lord, all is not lost.
Curse the Elder Gods in their tournament. I should have taken Earthrealm by force. But I am bound by their rules. Rules that cannot be broken.
My lord!
Kill them.
What if the rules were changed?
Kitana, continue.
In the altered timeline, Shao Kahn pairs up Quan Chi and Shang Tsung together and Raiden send Kung Lao into battle, instead of Liu Kang. Kung Lao defeated the pair and Kintaro, but the arrogance of Kung Lao allowed Shao Kahn to strike, breaking his neck without first issuing a challenge, and at the same time breaking the traditional rules of Mortal Kombat. Since the second tournament was a farce, the Elder Gods couldn't enforce any specific rules, and the Emperor took delight in the anguish that Kung Lao's death caused Liu Kang.
Witness, boy. Do you know who I am?
The murderer of my friend.
I am Shao Kahn, conqueror of worlds. You will taste no victory.
On your feet! For Kung Lao, the Shaolin, and Earthrealm. I cannot believe Earthrealm has won.
After Khan's defeat, his lieutenants argued over who should be the new ruler of Outworld, but Shao Kahn revealed that he had survived, only because Quan Chi used his dark magic to accelerate his healing. Quan Chi informed Shao Kahn about the secrets behind the Mortal Kombat tournament and resurrected Queen Sindel for him, allowing the barriers to break and Earthrealm to be invaded, just like what was done before. As his extermination squads attacked Earthrealm's warriors, one of his greatest generals, Motaro, was killed by Raiden, changing the fate of the combatant Johnny Cage, and Shao Kahn was angered at his loss, replacing him with Sindel.
I will go to Earthrealm to finish Motaro's work.
Yes. Shang Tsung,
Yes, Emperor.
the Empress requires something of you.
The death of Shang Tsung and the dark powers Quan Chi had used to revive Sindel made her almost unstoppable, and Khan ordered her to find and kill all of the remaining Earthrealm warriors, a task which she efficiently carried out, leaving few survivors. In this timeline, there was no Liu Kang to stop him, since he had been accidentally killed by Raiden, and Shao Kahn began merging Outworld and Earthrealm, like he had been plotting for centuries. Raiden was the last line of defense, and finally realized what his words from the future meant. He must win. It was actually referring to Shao Kahn. The rules of Mortal Kombat allowed for invasion of other realms without victory, but merging realms was a line that couldn't be crossed. Raiden had to let Shao Kahn win so the Elder Gods could step in and punish him.
I have won.
Yes. You have won.
Now, Raiden, your world ends.
You violate our will, Shao Kahn. You merge realms without victory in Mortal Kombat. Our penalty is clear.
And that was the end of Shao Kahn in the current Mortal Kombat timeline, facing an eternity of punishment from the gods. But that wouldn't be the end of Shao Kahn across all of reality. Raiden's manipulation of time brought forth the attention of Kronika, a titan more powerful than the Elder Gods and responsible for the flow of time. She had the ultimate goal of undoing what Raiden had done and creating the perfect timeline, a new era that she would write. Through the eons, she had rewritten history time and time again, attempting to find what she saw as the perfect balance, but Raiden and his mortals always interfered with her quest for perfection. During the events of Mortal Kombat 11, Kronika set out to create a timeline without Raiden. While Kronika worked, past and present collided. Combatants and events from the past merged with the present time, and Kronika made empty promises to forge allegiances against Raiden. One of the beings she brought back from the past was Shao Kahn during his days as ruler of Outworld, and he was horrified to find his empire being ruled by another in his absence.
Raiden? Shao Kahn?
General Kotal.
Kotal Kahn.
Khan, pathetic fool. You pretend to my throne.
It is mine, by right and deed. You were killed long ago, as was your repugnant spawn Mileena.
We were at the Mortal Kombat tournament. Kung Lao had just defeated Shang Tsung and Quan Chi.
We are decades beyond those events.
For us, they happened only moments ago.
What game are you playing, Raiden? What magic powers this delusion?
If it is a delusion, it is one we all share. Is it possible that the past and future are colliding?
Aztec custom requires all refugees be offered assistance. I offer it to you, Shao Kahn.
I am no refugee. I am Khan of Outworld. Vacate my throne, or I'll soak these sands with your blood. I will have my throne!
Outworld rejected your pointless wars.
Empires must expand or die.
Your conquest served you alone, not Outworld's people.
Shao Kahn fought to take back his throne, but the combined forces of Raiden, Liu Kang, and Kotal Kahn were too much. D'Vorah appeared and helped him escape through a portal, and he learned of his future fate. His failed invasion of Earthrealm, punishment by the Elder Gods. He learned that Mileena had taken his throne prior to the events of Mortal Kombat X, and Kotal Kahn took over after her death. A fate that Shao Kahn refused to repeat. And at that moment, Kronika appeared and offered Kahn his rule back, if he allied himself with her.
The legends are true?
I am displeased with how history has unfolded.
So you broke time?
I stopped time. I enlist all those who disdain the current course of history. By merging past and present, we may draw upon allies from both eras.
How will fighting your battles benefit me?
I offer a greater empire in the new era, Shao Kahn. Raiden will not exist to thwart you.
You can wipe Raiden from history?
It is an immense task, requiring great power and effort. My hourglass requires protection while I work. Will your Outworld armies defend it?
They shall.
Shao Kahn, inspired by the promises of a better future, agreed to Kronika's plans and gathered his armies to retake Outworld, capturing a weakened Kotal Khan and taking him to his Colosseum for a public execution. But while he celebrated his victory prematurely, the resistance against him appeared, led by warriors from the past, including Kitana, determined to avenge her family and Edenia.
Only I can rebuild the Empire. All realms will tremble before me. Outworld will again be conquerors, never to conquer! Where's this boldness been hiding, Kitana? Had you shown it before, I'd have had no need for Melina.
My sister was an unholy monster. Exactly like you, father. Surrender, or face the consequences.
Surrender on the brink of victory. You're as feeble-minded as Jared.
King Jared, the father you murdered and stole me from.
I wanted Jared's wife, not his heir. I kept you only to appease your mother.
She did it. Of course she did.
And that is the current history of Shao Kahn. His reign of tyranny finally ended by the hands of his adopted daughter. But throughout multiple histories, he's found a way back from the clutches of death, and only time will tell if this new era of Mortal Kombat has a place for his return. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button with all of your strength. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any new content. You can follow me on social media or go into my community tab for updates. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support the channel directly on Patreon. This is Fabian, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.